Sup, guys? Sup? Gotta share this on my team page. Sharing a group. I've got a baby over my shoulder. I am mom bossing today. And I've got diaper and wipes in my hands because that's what I gotta do in a second while I'm doing this, because baby slows down for no one. Hold on. Morning mess time. Okay. Hi guys. Hi. I'm gonna give it a second. I'm gonna move to the floor where I like to be to do these things. And yes, I do have a baby with me. He was starting to settle for a nap and then did not, which is why this was a little bit late starting, because he decided that no, we weren't going to do that. Hi, baby. Hi. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to Morning Mess, which is in the afternoon. Anybody who's new to Morning Mess, the reason why it's called Morning Mess is a historical purpose, because it used to be in the morning and I used to look like a mess every time I did it. Not saying I look super great now, but it's definitely not able to be in the morning anymore. So today's topic is one that came from a moment of self-revelation, okay? Which I guess most of these come from that, right? Most of these come from, experiences that I've had or things I've learned along the way. Sorry if I'm not looking at you guys. It's because I'm actually changing a diaper, you guys. Like, anybody who's like, oh, well, no, guys. This is multitasking at its finest. Which, one time, I changed my baby's diaper while doing a live, and he peed all over me. So you just never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get. Okay, so when I first joined, I'm going to tell a story, and then I'm going to tell you the point. Hi! I'm going to tell you a story, I'm going to tell you the point. When I first joined, I heard a lot of the leaders who are above me talking about how this business is, they said it's like harvesting. You plant seeds and you harvest the fruit of those seeds, later on. And, and I kind of got that, you plant, and I thought about it in terms of opportunities, right? I thought about it in terms of, we plant seeds, and give people, just plant things, to see if they will come around and want to do what we do or whatever. Yeah, it's not okay. But it's really hit me recently what that actually means. Okay, so let me break down 2016 for you. All right. Now here's the story part. Well, this is all the story part. Okay. So I always heard this, it's a harvest. You plant seeds, you sow those seeds and reap the benefits of them later, right? Heard this. And kind of got what that meant, okay? And so now let's bring you to 2016. 2016 was actually, the first half of it was a very difficult time for me personally. It was difficult. I was pregnant, and the pregnancy wasn't hard. I'm grateful for that. But my husband has a job that takes him away for long periods of time on occasion. And so he was gone, and it was me, and it was my pregnant self, 6 weeks pregnant, and so not feeling great, super not feeling great. And my husband, you hear me talk about him a lot because he's literally my best friend on the planet, like my best friend on the planet. And so I was super miserable and feeling not great. And I'm getting to a story, guys. If you're just joining, I'm telling a story, and then the point's going to come from the story, okay? This one is a morning mess that has a lot to do with the deep personal revelation. Okay. So it was a hard time at the beginning of 2016, not just because I was pregnant and didn't feel good, but my husband was gone. I had at the time, Ben was 1, Elle was 3 and a half, which was real hard with my daughter. And it was just me and my pregnant self. And then I had some minor complications of bleeding and various other things, and just scary. And it was just me. And I was trying so hard to keep my business afloat, and I was trying so hard to be a good mom, and I was trying so hard to function. And it was hard, and I had a hard time, and I got sad. Okay, I got sad. All right. I am anybody who knows me or spent any time around me, I'm generally a very positive, peppy person. I'm very positive. I'm very, always looking on the bright side, always pretty optimistic. And I was having a real hard time with that. And I recognized it immediately, guys. I'm a huge proponent of counseling. I'm a huge proponent of mental health assistance when you need it. And I knew that I was like, I didn't think I was depressed per se, but I was like, I am not okay right now. I am not okay. And so I started seeing a counselor once a week just to go and just talk, because I was like, this isn't me. I was like, I am usually super positive. I don't have a hard time like this. Between the hormones and all, and pregnancy hormones, right? So point is, first 6 months of 2016 were just emotionally difficult. All right. And I also had this business, which is of the utmost importance to me. Okay. I have my family's most important, and then my business, okay, is extremely important to me. And I was having such a hard time just doing the things, okay? I was showing up. I had to stop morning mess. Morning mess was through the whole end of 2015. And I stopped doing morning mess in the morning because I was like, I cannot. Right now, I need to take care of myself, and I need to take care of these kids. And I got to take care of my personal business and my team. And I can't do morning mess because I can't have one more thing, okay? And I just stayed afloat. All right. It was such a hard time, and I just stayed afloat. All right. I kept my business alive. I didn't let my business die. That was my number one goal. Don't let your business die. Keep showing up every day for your business in some capacity, even if it's not what you used to do. Just keep going. All right. That was my mantra. All right. Now, prior to that first 6 months, okay, I'm backing up around to the end of 2015. 2015, I ran hard, okay? My husband was gone at the beginning of 2015 also, but I wasn't pregnant. And that turns out makes a huge difference for me. And I just worked and I hustled and I worked a lot and I partied a lot, okay? And that's what I did. And I promoted fast and I got places and I was running for black and I wanted to hit black status and I was working and I was talking and I was hustling hard, okay? And I hit black status in the end of 2015 and woo! And yes, everything's good, okay? And then 2016 and January 1st, I found out I was pregnant and we knew that my husband would be leaving soon. And it got real hard. And all of that hustle that I had done in 2015, I couldn't keep that up in the first 6 months of 2016. Okay, I just could not do it. Physically and emotionally, I could not do it. Okay, I just had to keep my business afloat. And so that's what I did. I tried to do regular things with my team. I tried to maintain contact with my team. I kept up parties, okay, where I used to be a $2,000 a month PRS earner, always, never below 2,000. Suddenly I was like, okay, well, 1,000 is my goal. And I kept at 1,000 every month. And there was one month even during that time that I had 33. It was a lot more because I had a lot of home parties. And I just put one foot in front of the other, okay? Now, let's get to the second half of 2016. I promise this has a point, guys. The second half of 2016, my husband was home. It was the end of my pregnancy. I felt great. I felt super great, okay? This guy was born. It was awesome, okay? I was in a good place. I was hustling again, okay? I started implementing more daily habits with my business, all right? It was awesome, okay? Second half of 2016 ruled. All right. I was feeling good. I could work my business. I was feeling like myself again. My best friend came home and it all was good in the world. Okay. It was all good. All right. I'm getting to the business part of this. All right. So first half, I was just trying to keep my business afloat. Second half, cranking out business like whoa. Talking to people, booking parties, knowing what I'm supposed to do, showing up for my team, leading my team, doing all the things. Ha! Okay. Woo! All right. Now, a few days ago, I went back through 2016 and I added up my company wholesale sales for the year, okay, to figure out how much retail sales that we had done. All right. Which was a great exercise in itself because what I felt like was a really hard year, a really bad year, was actually really fantastic. Okay. But I was looking at the numbers. And a curious thing, you guys, January, February, March, April, May, the hardest months of 2016, my company sales were well over $100,000 every single month for those hardest months of the year where I was just hanging on for dear life, keeping my business afloat, okay? And that was my best numbers of the year. Best numbers of the year. Better than November, okay? Better than November. And then I looked at the second half of the year, and it's not that we were never doing poorly, okay? I'll throw that out there. We were never doing poorly. But it was like 90, 80 something, like 88, 90. There was one month that was like 70, it was under 80. What? Okay? And I was looking at these numbers and I thought, how on earth was the hardest time of the year the best numbers of my year? And how on earth was the best part of my year the lowest numbers of my year? How did that happen? All right? And then it hit me. All of the things I heard when I first started my business. This business is about sowing seeds and reaping a harvest, all right? And it's not just in individual conversations, it's in the entirety of your business. My first 5 months of 2016, 6 months really, of 2016 were all-star months because I spent all of 2015, particularly the 6 months before that, hustling hard to hit black status. And so when I reaped what I had sowed, I didn't reap what I had sowed while I was working on it. I mean, kind of, but really, you saw the after effects of all that work for the first part of the year when I was just trying to stay afloat, okay? All that work I had done at the end of 2015 carried me through the first half of this year. It carried me through, carried my company numbers, carried my paycheck, carried everything through because I ran like crazy, all right? And then that 6 months that I was having a really hard time, that I kept my business didn't die, okay? And it didn't ever die in the second half, but guys, I'm telling you, it was night and day. You look at June, you look at July, and it's like, woo, okay? Like 140, 160, really good number, okay? And it's because I had done the bare minimum for 6 months. And I'm not knocking myself, by the way, for doing the bare minimum. I'm proud of myself for that time. I did what I had to do. I kept myself okay. I kept my kids okay. We made it, all right? I am not ashamed of what that had to be, all right? But it's very eye-opening to me because the work I did in that 6 months was bare minimum, keeping everything afloat, keeping the ship sailing on course. And the output, okay, the following 6 months, that output, it showed up in my company sales. It showed up in everything I did, okay? Even though I was working harder in the second half of the year, my company numbers were lower. Do you feel me? I was working harder and the company numbers were lower, all right? Now, does that mean that my work in the second half of 2016 was for nothing? No, okay? I needed to come back, all right? But just because I decided to turn on a switch and start running again does not mean that that I'm going to get the result of that instantly. Nothing comes instantly, okay? In this business, nothing comes instantly. Hear my words. Believe them, live them, trust them. Nothing comes instantly. Okay, so husband got home, had a baby, working my business. Yeah, all is good, okay? But I'm not going to see the effects of all of that hard work probably until this part of the year, okay? Coming into 2017, I'm going to start to see the fruits of that labor that I put in the second half of 2016, all right? I'm going to start to see that because the work we do now, the work you do today for your business, you're not going to see the fruit of that labor today. You're going to see the fruit of that labor a few months from now, all right? What you see today in your business is evidence of the work you did 6 months ago. What you see today, right now in your business, is evidence of the work you did 6 months ago, okay? So what were you doing 6 months ago for your business? All right, if you're not happy with where you're at right now, ask yourself, what was I doing 6 months ago for this business? Did I disappear? Was I in a hard time, not able to work quite like I wanted to work, okay, which is totally fine and totally normal, but what were you doing? Were you talking to people? Were you reaching out? Were you offering parties? All right, because if you're not going to see much right now. All right, now if you're doing all those things now, if you're talking to people, you're asking for parties, you're like, hey, let's get you some free makeup. And even if people are saying no to you right now, trust that it will all come around. You have to give this business time. All right. I've had conversations with a lot of women who are like, man, I'm running hard. I'm doing all the things. I've done so many parties. My own personal sales are huge. And I'm trying to work with my team and I'm trying to help them and they're working hard and we're not seeing anything. Okay. We're not seeing anything and nothing's happening. And this is supposed to be my time. And I'm like, the work you're doing right now on this run, okay, you're not going to see the effects of that for several months. All right. You have to trust the system. You have to trust the process. This business, if you are not patient, you will not get anywhere. All right. You have to be patient. Okay. And you have to be persistent and you have to be consistent. Okay. Because here's the thing. I did all that work in the second half of 2016. Sweet. All right. I come into 2017 and what if I decide to just stop? What if I stopped? All right. This is driving me nuts, this hair, guys. I can't even. I need to get my hair done. If I decided to just stop, I might have a really great first couple of months of this year. All right. I might have another high, first 6 months like I did last year. But come the second half of the year, if I don't work this part of my year hard, if I don't run hard, I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I don't send the messages, I don't share the makeup, I don't do my job, then come the second half of the year, I'm not nearly going to have as strong of a result as I do in the first. All right. What your business looks like today is not a reflection of your work today. It's a reflection of your work several months ago. And like Ivy says there, she didn't have a business 6 months ago, right? If you didn't have a business 6 months ago, trust the process. You have to put in that consistency. You have to put in that daily, consistent effort. And when I say daily, guys, I think that intimidates people because I think they think it has to be something huge and overwhelming. No, I'm not saying it has to be huge and overwhelming. I'm just saying it has to be consistent every day. All right. So some days I post a lot about makeup and some days I get like one shot of my makeup up and because everything is chaotic in my house. All right. But no matter what, my audience knows Lauren sells makeup. Lauren loves makeup. Lauren has a business. I could start that business with Lauren if I wanted to. I could do a party. My people know. They know because I remind them regularly that Lauren sells makeup. Lauren does makeup parties and I can join Lauren's business if I want to. And I remind them of it. You can't say it just once. It has to be a consistent, repeated message that you put out there. And people will ignore it for a long time. Or they'll ignore it because it doesn't apply to them. Or they'll ignore it because they think it's stupid until they see something, or something changes their mind. But you keep doing it every day and you show up with that message and everybody knows where you're at and everybody knows how to find you and it comes around. Okay? If you didn't have a business 6 months ago, you can't expect huge results right now necessarily. Okay? Now, does the work we do right now, like I said, we don't see the fruits of our labor right now until much later, which is mostly true. Now, the caveat to that is, yes, to a certain extent you do. Your own personal sales, okay, your own personal sales right now, yes, you see the instant gratification of that, right? You get paid 3 to 4 hours after every sale. So yes, you see that right now. But in terms of booking parties, in terms of sponsoring a ton of people, sometimes you don't see the fruits of that labor until a little bit down the line. So you have to be patient. If you are not patient with your business and you decide to just cut bait and run, well, you're not getting anywhere by piecing out. All right. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today, because I think so often we go at this for a month, we go at this for 2 months, we go at this for 6 months, and we expect that there's going to be some big thing, or even a year, or even 2 years. But here's the deal. If you haven't been working with consistent work ethic that entire time, then your business likely looks like this. Okay, your business likely looks like this. If your effort hasn't been consistent, your business is not going to be consistent. Okay, it's going to have ups and it's going to have downs and it's going to have, you see what I'm saying here? Okay, ebbs and flows. Amanda asked me, what's the best way to keep a new person motivated? My friend, you cannot keep people motivated. Not your job. Not your job to motivate. It's not. You know, this is one of the number one questions that a lot of people have. Gosh, how do I motivate my team? How do I get my team to want to work? You cannot. Motivation comes from within. Okay? When I joined, Brian Kerr's my sponsor. She's also Black status. Do you think Brienne said something to me that magically motivated me? Not a word. My top leaders on my team, Carissa, Molly, Erica, Brittany, they're self-motivated. Motivation comes from within. All right. So if you have a team, this is a good lesson for anybody to learn. If you have a team, you can show up and you can be passionate, guys. And I'm as passionate as I'll get out. You can ask my team. I'm crazy town. Look at this hair, guys. Look at this hair. Like, what are these pieces? I'm passionate as all get out, and I can get up there and I can preach to the freaking choir and I can throw my hands around, all right, and I can be so hyped up, and I will have team members leave those lives and be like, yeah, I feel so good, I'm so pumped for my business, and they're super motivated, and it lasts about 5 seconds unless they're personally motivated themselves. Okay, because I can hype it, guys, I was a cheerleader in high school. I was a national champion type cheerleader, on a competitive squad, and my high school squad, we won stuff, okay? And I was passionate about cheerleading. I can fire people up with the best of them, but I can't keep that there, all right? You might be like, whoa, yeah. Sorry. Right when I was getting really fired up, it reconnected. Sorry, my hair, I can't handle my hair right now. Point is, you can do everything right. You can be doing everything right, okay? You can be sharing all kinds of motivation. You can be sharing your favorite trainings. You can be sharing your favorite tips. You can be sharing your favorite passionate argument for why people should be totally motivated and into their business. And unless they have that self-motivation within, it will not stick. It will not stick. All right? So take that off your shoulders. I tell you that not to lecture you, but take that weight off your shoulders. It's not your job to motivate everybody, okay? It's your job to be motivated yourself. It's your job to care enough about your business that you show up every dang day for your business, motivated as all get out, to keep going, okay? Because if you're motivated, those on your team who have inner motivation, they will follow you, okay? But you have to do it first. So don't take on the obligation of, I'm responsible for the motivation of all of these people on my team. Take on the obligation of, I'm responsible for staying motivated myself. And if I stay motivated, then the people on my team who are internally motivated as it is, they'll also be motivated, right? And what a relief to you, by the way. It's a huge relief. Once you relieve yourself of that burden that it's your job to make everybody want to do this, it's a big weight off your shoulders. I'm telling you. All right. Melissa, poster child for inconsistency right here. Lesson, bring it 20. Here's the deal. I get up and I preach about consistency over and over and over because it is the number one thing that is true. Okay. And it affects so many things. Your consistency right now determines the end of the year. If you are consistent in the beginning of 2017 and you're consistent in your effort and you stay consistent to the end, yeah, but don't miss what I'm saying, Amanda. Yeah, use your passion to motivate them by working and let them watch, but don't miss what I'm saying. You motivating them will only last for about 5 seconds. Do you hear me? You motivating them will only last for about 5 seconds. And by 5 seconds, I probably mean like a week, okay? And then it'll get hard because this business is not easy. Let me back that up. It's very simple. Okay, but there's a lot of discouragement that comes. This is not an instant gratification business, and people get impatient and they get frustrated and they get bogged down because they compare themselves to everybody around them and they get frustrated with that and they feel like, well, why am I not getting along? And then they're going to want to quit. Okay, so if they don't have that internal drive, okay, you can't give them that drive. All right, you can give them personal development. You can say, hey, and get motivated and use your passion and get them worked up and then say, now that you're worked up, you need to go read this, because personal development is the only thing that can change a person, okay, and change how hard they work and how badly they want it. That's the only thing. You can't do it. But yeah, otherwise, use your own passion to get pumped up and work your own business. I have to I recently was doing something with my team and I was explaining, guys, if you're spending all your time on your team, you're not working your business. And if you're not working your business, you're not doing this right. You have to work your own business first. You have to be selling, sponsoring. You have to be booking parties. You have to be doing parties, believe it or not. And I know everybody's like, I don't want to do parties. Well, guess what? That's the business. That's the business. And if they're not working for you, then you got to be finding out how to work them. Because if you're not figuring that stuff out, we can't look at our team and say, hey guys, get with the program. You know? I call it the 80-20 rule. 80% your own business, 20% your team. And that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, yeah. And these are things, guys, that when I first joined, so Brian Kerr is my sponsor, Amber Voigt is my great-grand sponsor, and I grew up, so to speak. I built my business watching a lot of Amber Voigt videos, watching Nicole Smith, watching Sherry Brown. Those are all the videos that I watched when I was, oh, Melissa, I'm going to like to read that post in a second. Okay. I came up watching those videos, and I'm not saying anything new under the sun. These are things that were taught to me, okay, that you can't motivate the unmotivated. You just can't. You know, Sherry Brown will give it to you real straight. She'll be like, let it go, you know? Like, these are things that I learned from them, and I have found them to be unequivocally true in running and leading and running my business and leading a team. You know, same thing with you reap what you sow. You sow, you do the work, you do the work, you do the work, you do it consistently over and over and over again. And the work you do now, you reap the benefits of it months and months and months and months down the road. You stopped posting because it seemed like no one saw or cared about your makeup post. I've been consistent the last 4 days. I've had at least 2 people who I definitely thought would never buy from me comment. But Melissa, I got to tell you, I'm really glad, okay, that you've posted, you've been consistent for the past 4 days, and that's brought about interest. I'm going to tell you, there will come a time again when it's going to seem like nobody cares. And that's what you do at that point is what's most important. Okay, it's easy to be consistent when people are paying attention. It's easy to be consistent when people are noticing what you're doing. It is very hard to be consistent when you feel like no one cares. Okay, and that's when it's most important that you keep showing up. Okay, I've done a video on this before, like a long time ago at some point or whatever. You're building trust is what you're doing. When you show up for your business consistently, people start to trust you. Okay, they start to actually believe that you care about your business. They start to actually believe that, oh, hey, she is a makeup girl. I can buy stuff from her. You know, that consistency is key. Okay, because it's super easy when everybody's hyped up and new mascara and yeah, okay, it's super easy to be consistent then. But when people stop liking and people stop commenting and you feel like you've gotten on everybody's nerves, you feel like everybody's super irritated at you, and so maybe you're going to back off now, maybe you're going to back off and you're not going to talk about your business because I clearly I'll come back in a month and I'll post about it again. Worst mistake ever. Okay? You can't do that. You can't do it, guys. You keep going through thick and thin because you are establishing trust. You are establishing credibility. You are the makeup girl. You do it whether people are paying attention or not, okay? Because then you know who they're going to think of? You, when they need makeup, all right? That's of the utmost importance, okay? Your girl January 2nd, yeah, awesome. That's phenomenal. And yes, get her there, okay? Because convention is everything. Convention's everything. I love convention. Oh, I'm actually probably bringing my entire family to convention this year because it's not very far from where we live. So like all of us will be there. I mean, Chris will be with the kids most of the day while I'm doing all the things, but you know what I'm saying. That's what I got, you guys. That's what I wanted to share with you. I don't want to spend too much time being redundant because that's what I tend to do sometimes. But if you have any questions, I'll give it a second and I can try to answer those. This is a topic that is deeply deeply meaningful to me because it was a huge revelation. When I realized that the hardest part of my year last year was the best part of my year in my business, I realized that wasn't because of the work I was doing right then. That was because of the work I was doing in fall of 2015. Okay. And then the hardest part of my year in business was fall of 2016 when I was really good and working really hard, doing all the work. Okay. But that wasn't a reflection of my work, my hard work. That was a reflection of the beginning of 2016 when I was just keeping afloat. Right. So I'm going to repeat it just for one last good measure. Whatever your business looks like right now, you have to ask yourself what you did 6 months ago. What you did 6 months ago for your business. What were you doing? Were you, and if you're having trouble sponsoring, I gotta ask you, are you talking to people about the opportunity? Are you just expecting people to just come out of nowhere, come out of the woodwork? Doesn't work like that, guys. You have to be putting yourself out there continuously, regularly, every day, consistently, whether people are paying attention to you or not. And you have to do it over and over and over again, because the work you do right now determines what your business will look like in 6 months. And the work you did 6 months ago determines what your business looks like right now. All right, sweet. I don't think there are any questions, so I'm going to go. Feel free to share this, you guys. I always appreciate, if you feel like it'll help somebody, I always appreciate when it gets shared, and if it's useful in some way or form or whatever to somebody. Otherwise, have a super good week, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.